Good afternoon, Martha.
Hi, Martha.
I'm so glad everybody's here today. What a beautiful sunny afternoon it's turning into. I'm so glad to have everyone, and it's good to see you, Katie.
Hi.
Hope that you went through your surgery and the peak of wonderful opportunities working out for you.
Yes.
Well, that's good. No real big problems, right?
No.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? See, your guides and masters were with you, and you really have a strong faith, and they were with you, so you didn't have to worry. Man, I haven't seen Doug for a long time. Hello, Doug.
Hi, Doc.
Well, it's so glad to have you here, and I'm Martha, and I'm just glad that you were able to come all this distance. What a treat to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're thrilled. And would you let the new person, you've been to healing, haven't you? So you're not really new, Valerie.
No.
So I met you at healing, right?
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're here too.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Mac, thank you for all your help.
Marilyn has a request, Martha.
Yes?
She does not want to stay in trance more than 1 hour.
Right, I know she needs to kind of watch that today.
So I trust you'll kind of monitor from that side, and I'll watch it from this side.
Would you watch it from your side? Yes. We can lose track of time on this side because you know there is no time. You guys made it up. We don't have it on our side. Thank you, Mac.
You're welcome.
And Sue, good to see you.
Good to see you, Martha.
Yes, and I hope all is well with you.
Everything's great.
Wonderful. And Darcy, how's everything with you?
No, I had to leave a good meeting, but I needed to be here.
Well, I'm so appreciative of your wanting to support Marilyn and bring all your wonderful energy to us too. So thank you for showing up, and we really appreciate your coming.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Well, we have a short announcement that John the Divine is going to step aside so that this particular channeling won't get too long for everybody. And so after we have a person come in and visit, we're going to then go straight to St. Germaine, and then Archangel Ariel has a surprise for you. So we'll just hope you'll sit back and enjoy and have a good afternoon. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Valerie, I wanted you to know that I am so proud of you. This is your mother. And I'm so glad that you came today.
Me too.
And I love you so dearly, and I wanted you to know how well I see you growing, that you're practicing new ways of getting grown up in your life, and I'm just thrilled about how fast you're adapting and taking on these new ways of handling and responding in such healthier avenues than what I could teach you. I'm sorry, dear, about that.
It's okay.
And I know it's been very hard this year for you, but I know you know I'm in your heart, and we have our conversations, right?
Right.
But I wanted to talk to you out loud too, so you know that it's not your imagination.
Okay.
And so you are so loved. I want you to know that I can see such growth in you, and such your life is smoothing out in very wonderful ways in your relationships, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased about that. You know, I was very concerned at one time when things were going really rough for you, and your reality has changed, hasn't it?
Yes.
I want you to know how much I congratulate you, because you have changed. You have changed your life in a very wonderful, more productive way. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And you listen to the information that you're hearing, and you apply it, and you're conscientious. You are such a good daughter. You are always a good daughter, but I'm just thrilled about how you're picking up these new tools.
Thank you.
And I know that you were very dependent on me.
Yes.
I want you to know that you have made some big growth, and learning to trust yourself. And you know that too, don't you?
Yes.
Now that's making the big difference, is that your focus is now on the God within, and that's where your guidance is coming from. But you know that I'm also there helping too, aren't you?
Yes.
And you can call on me anytime, dear, and one of the little tools that might help you is at night when you go to sleep and you want some answers or some assurance, I can stay with you for the night and be with you that night and comfort you if you need it. Or you might ask me a question, and then when you wake up in the morning, you'll have the answer, and you can then know that that's what your answer is you'll wake up and, oh, I know what I need to understand or do. So I'm there still for you, honey. I haven't really left completely.
Okay.
And I know that you're very much in tune with your spiritual growth, and I want to encourage you to keep on that path. It's helping you greatly, isn't it?
Yes.
And I also would like to say I can't apologize for your dad to you, but he had some pretty tough times in his past, especially his childhood. And I think you're starting to understand his gruffness and control isn't about you. It's about he doesn't know how to do it differently.
That's correct.
Yeah, so if you understand and send forgiveness and love to him, I think you can maybe soften him up a little. And so just know that it's not about you personally.
Okay.
He still has a lot of pain inside and he doesn't know how to deal with it, dear. And just have some compassion that he had such tough times that he had to go through.
Okay.
And just see that he's a wounded child.
Yeah.
He's a wounded child, and of course our whole family was dysfunctional, and we were all wounded, and it's easier to sometimes see our own wounds and forget that others have their wounds too.
Right.
So I just want you to know that it was not personal.
Okay.
It really had to do with his acting out from looking for love and all, trying to solve his problems, and he still doesn't know how to really do that. And
Right.
you're being very blessed with people in your life and a program and counseling and various places to get help. I'm so pleased that you're taking advantage of all of these opportunities for you.
Thank you.
And you're growing up to be a fine woman who I am so proud of, Valerie. I am so proud of you. But you see, I had to leave for you to learn to stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And you're doing that, and that's what makes my buttons just burst.
Okay.
And so I'm always with you, dear.
Okay.
Do you have a question you want to ask me?
I just miss you. I love you very much.
Well, I miss you too, dear. And you have some remembrances of me in the house, so when you look at those, just know that I'm there with you always.
Okay.
I'm in your heart. I haven't really left in spirit. But at one point in time that you will be strong enough, I might just find it important for me to go find some other places where I need to be on the other side, because I'll know that you're being taken good care of yourself.
Okay.
So right now, I'm not leaving.
You don't leave.
I'm not leaving now, and I want you to know that.
Okay.
So I love you very much. Just feel my arms around you, give me a big hug.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you, honey. You're a sweet, sweet girl, and you always were. And no matter whatever came upon your path, you are just handling everything so well. I'm very, very pleased, and you are so special in my life.
Thank you.
And I love you very much, and I need to go. But know that you are loved, and that's what we all are looking for, is looking for love in the right places.
Right.
And that's what you're finding. It's all in your heart. So just focus on that and know that I'm there with you always and always will. If you ever call on me, I can comfort you and be there anytime.
Okay.
So I know that sometimes things get a little rough, and you wouldn't be the first person that decided you need a little extra comforting. That's what mommies are for.
Okay.
So I'm always your mommy,
All right.
and you can know that.
Okay.
And I'm just real pleased at how well you're taking on your new roles of growing up and becoming a fine woman, and you're to be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say goodbye,
Okay.
but I'm so glad you came today, and I had a chance to just say this to you in a way that you know it's not just coming inside, but you can hear it in a way that comes across in a way that you needed to hear it.
Okay.
And have a good afternoon, and I know your future is looking very bright. Your future is looking better every day. Just know every day and every way you're getting better and better. And just keep that love there and you'll do just fine, honey.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good afternoon. I am St. Germaine,
Good afternoon.
and I am glad to be back with all of you friendly people that I know, and you have been around my talks and discussions before, so welcome back.
Thank you.
I think that most of you are aware that energy is shifting. In fact, I heard a glimpse of your conversation of how you are becoming much more aware of how the energy is shifting in your life. There has been a huge shift of energy, and I would like to further explain this so you can better understand what's going on with your lives. And so that you have an understanding, it makes more sense to you then. One of the things that so many people have been so focused in the past has been in the material world, in the third dimension. What was solid, you could put your hand on, the chair and the table, and what was placed in front of you to eat for food. All those things were solid, and you could take your fork and knife and cut up the meat. And those things were very much your focus at one point in your life. And now you people are on the spiritual path and starting to see that those are manifestations of spirit. If you look at an atom, and some of you took science in grade school, some of you in high school or college, will know that the atom has different components to it. The nucleus and the protons and the neutrons, and they're all speeding around. But if you compact all of that space of the atom very tightly together, you get a dense atom. Not much space for them to move in that small compacted place, and that's the density of third dimension. The atoms in your bodies have been compacted, and therefore they have been dense and heavy in third dimension. That's the weight of who you are, especially with the gravity pulling on you besides. Now, in spirit, we're going to talk about it from a different point of view. As you're raising your energy and consciousness into higher levels of awareness, that atom now is getting so that there's more space between the components of the atom. So instead of being so tightly compressed, and the darkness being where you were for the last 13,000 years, and that darkness was what was ruling the people of the planet and those that were trying to take over leadership of the planet, used that darkness against you to not see who you truly were. But with the energy shift that has occurred, and your atoms can now move into more space, and there is emptiness that is larger than used to be in your atom, and there is more space for the molecules to move around, and the light inside of that atom is becoming more bright. It's starting to glow out better than it has ever been able to, because the energy has shifted into a higher vibration. You are coming alive in energy, in the lightness of God, Your energy is moving into a space where your atoms are allowing that light within to go past the molecules and be seen instead of stay in the darkness. You are moving into the light of the God of which you are created. So that energy of light is coming into your lives, and as you were talking today about how much you were seeing the lessons that are going on, this is what's going on. You have relaxed enough, you don't need to be so tight and in the darkness as you were. With this new energy doesn't support that. The new energy supports loving awareness and higher consciousness. And that makes it possible to open up your hearts completely at this point where your consciousness is the love in your heart. And let that consciousness go into the total love of who you are, which is the path that you are on and called ascension. So you see what you were talking about is actually happening and supporting you through the changes that are occurring in your bodies. And these changes are not just occurring in your bodies, but they're occurring in the collective consciousness of everyone's bodies. And so you see, you are part of a whole group of humans that came to Earth to bring the light to the planet, to raise it into the light energy that it was created in, to restore it back to its original, the origins of where, from whence it came. And that you are part of this plan to bring light to the world, and people call you light workers. As you raise your energy, people see your energy is bright and your aura is just beautiful, and they are changed because of that. You see, it's like a tuning fork, and you might think you're not accomplishing anything on planet Earth. You go about your business, you take care of your responsibilities, but as you grow spiritually into a higher consciousness, that raises the consciousness of those around you. It works like a tuning fork. The orchestra tunes to a tuning fork of 440, and the oboe plays its pitch, and the rest of the instruments tune to that pitch. And if they are lower in pitch, they raise it to the 440 and tune into it. The same thing happens on a piano. The piano tuner comes with his tuning forks, and the piano strings will be lower generally through the use of the weather or the use of playing the piano. They've dropped in pitch. And so in playing the tuning fork, then the pitch can be restored to where it is in perfect pitch. And you are coming into your perfect pitch. You see, all the darkness that you are coming out of from the past history of civilization and your cultures brought about your illnesses, and brought about your pain and misery and suffering, because without the light of God, it is very difficult to function and to handle life in a meaningful, productive way. And so in many cases you felt the lack of, or your needs weren't met, or the crisis and turmoils of your life were perpetuated. And of course, the largest part of that was war, played out in the collective consciousness. So as we are changing the collective consciousness, and you are doing it one person at a time, you are literally changing the energy of the earth as it's going into a higher vibration of love, unconditional love of the fifth dimension. Actually, the planet has left third dimension at this point, and fourth dimension. And you people sitting in this room need to take care of the last remnants of aligning your energy. These are your last time in third dimensional existence. You have accomplished your positions of what you came to do at this point in changing your energy. You just have some minor things to take under consideration to continue your aligning to that perfect pitch. So we have Archangel Ariel will help you do that final stage today. Some of you know that the astrology is actually a very wonderful indication of what's going on with people. And some of you might have heard of the Grand Cross. Now the Grand Cross just happened recently in the skies, and this was an auspicious event. That was the change in the shift. Up until then, you felt at that point in time like you were crucified just like Jesus. Your life recently in the last few years might have felt harder than usual, more difficult, more painful, more problems, more dragons to slay, you might say. Some of them have been very difficult to stand up and hold your own authority against another authority, to stand up for yourself, to speak who you are and express yourself without a fear of being hurt. In fact, the major lie that you lived in the past was that it was not safe to be in reality. So for many of you to accept the total love of Christ into your heart, and that's where it lives, has been a huge surrender and very difficult to open your heart completely to the total love of God of which you are created in. And to know that now the energy does not support that lie. And the truth is, the safest place you have is to be in reality. That in God's love you are perfection, and that all your needs and abundance is there for you and always has been. It's only that the fears blocked the light from it producing and manifesting. So as you come more and more into the higher consciousness, you will not only see your lessons more easily, but they will also be less difficult. Because the lower energy will no longer be playing out in your lives. And as the song that Elvis played was talking about a light at the end of the tunnel, people, you have arrived. You have arrived into that place that he was talking about, that heaven on earth. And it is there in front of you, and you are able now, as you move more and more into your spiritual focus, to be able to see that spirit, that light inside as the molecules expand. You see, God is energy and expansion. Religions call it God, and science calls it physics, but it's the same thing with different terms. So you are coming together in unity and harmony with all of those around you, and all of the concepts are going to be cooperative and in community and at one. There will no longer be wars. There will no longer be the difficulties that you've had to go through, and to change that energy of the past into the love of who you truly are. You have been on Jacob's ladder, and you are at the top of the ladder, and the view is beautiful. My goodness, I want to congratulate all of you for going through the trials and tribulations necessary to come into this beautiful new focus of that all there is God. Now for some of you, it still might be a little difficult to understand your spiritual nature. So I have a picture I want you to visualize that might help you own the magnificent glory of who you truly are. We gave this image to Marilyn last week, and she happens to like cookie dough. And when she's in a certain space in her life, and she kind of decides, well, she needs something that's going to make her feel better. And so for some people it's macaroni and cheese, and for some people it's popcorn, and for her it's cookie dough, okay? So we had her visualize a big bowl of cookie dough, and all the ingredients in the cookie dough were in the bowl of batter. And the ingredients included omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. And then there was a spoon went into the cookie dough and scooped out some cookie dough, and it was placed on a cookie sheet. You are the ingredients of God. You are no different than the God within. You are thou same ingredients. You are all present. God is present with you always. You are all-knowing when you go into meditation and connect with your guidance in the silence. The doors of knowledge, Akashic records, and all the new information you need is available to you. And you are all-powerful. Now, if you look at that cookie dough on the sheet, and it's in its entire cookie shape, what has happened in the past is that you looked to schools for your credentials, such as a master's or a doctorate, to make yourself look good to society, and you gave away some of your cookie dough to them. You gave away some of your power. Then you looked just to the medicine field, because as you thought you were sick, which was really just a signal you were not connected to God somehow and you were out of balance, and you gave us some more cookie dough to the medical field to fix you. And then you looked to your churches to give you the answers for your salvation, not knowing your salvation was already inside of you. And you gave more cookie dough away. What happens to the cookie when you're giving all your cookie dough away? You do not make it very well on just part of your cookie dough. You cannot function appropriately. You have given away your power that you were created with. And now that you know you don't have to give it away to the outside authority, outside information that's trying to tell you, go my way, follow me. I have the answers. When the answers are inside, you are omniscient. That's part of who you are, created as, in the image of God. You can keep all your cookie dough. You can stay empowered. You can stay in the presence of God because the past is over. Your karma is coming to a close and is finishing up, and hopefully we'll help close some of that in a minute, some residual. You see, being always present, God is always in you and never left. That was part of the big lie. So as you find yourself that you are totally a spiritual being, and you're releasing the human elements that drug you down into third dimension, you are free to rise above, and you are on the cross, or the grand cross, the collective consciousness of the peoples that were through their karmas and healed their energies. Now all of you can get off the cross of collective consciousness. Just as Jesus got off the cross, he just represented what you could do. And you are now in a state of resurrection. And as you were talking earlier, you are starting to resurrect your consciousness of the lessons and energy about you. And that's your awareness, which is coming in stronger and stronger day by day. And you no longer have to react off of those old situations, no matter what's in front of you. Right now, you only need to send love, forgiveness, and understanding, and compassion, and gratitude. That you have moved into the consciousness of God, and you are claiming it as who you are. You have moved into the presence of God, and that's all there is. There's no past and no future. It is just now. Time was a man-made device which kept you locked in the darkness. But in the light of God, there is only now. Only the light of God is real. That's reality. Time to have fun, time to take back your shoes and go wading in the water or out doing whatever is fun to you. Time to say, I don't need to stay in those dark, dismal places of the past. I am free. I am happy because my ego no longer is running the show. Joyous because I have no more fear in my life. The light has dispelled all fear, and I am in joy. And I am free of all karmic residue. I am here to enjoy my life in the wonderful embrace of my Heavenly Father. The Father and I are one. That spiritual energy is within you, and you become that spiritual energy. You merge with your Father's energy, and you pass it as a channel to those around you. You become the hands and arms of God to those in your life. God fills you and flows through you, that spirit, that energy. And you know that all your needs are met. You know all there is abundance and prosperity. You know that you are without, you do not understanding or your sharing or your giving. You do not have to come from lack of ever again. And I would like to just give you a short little example, because as it's built being in the human form, sometimes it's hard to understand how can there be limitless supplies of finances when my job pays so many dollars, or I have so many dollars coming from Social Security, and that's all I'm going to get. And so if I'm helping others, what am I going to do for my existence? And I asked Marilyn if I could share a similar story that would be helpful to you. And she agreed to share this with you. She came from a home where the Great Depression was very much a part of her parents growing up. And the neediness and lack of whatever funds they needed to support the family were missing, and very difficult situations occurred because of this, which I will not go into at this point. But she was taught to save her pennies. No matter what happened, she would have to do without. She was not to spend any money, and she was always to save her money in case of a rainy day. Of course, it never rained, so she was never to spend it. And she was to keep tight money with, her money was to always be tightly controlled. And so it was very hard for her to learn to share with others, contribute to places that were necessary and needy, and was appropriate to contribute and help out. It was very difficult because of her raising. Over the years, she's gradually learned this is really fun to do, is to help others and to be able to contribute when there's a need. And she finally was able to have enough trust to not only do it when she felt the opportunity she could afford to do it, but she actually put her name on a dotted line and committed herself for a long-term situation, thinking, well, this money is going to a good cause, and I'm helping this person, and whatever the situations were. And she was starting to feel comfortable about sharing her charity work. And about 2 weeks after she committed herself to this particular situation for a certain amount, which she felt she could afford, she got a letter in the mail from the pension department of the Washington State Pensions for Teachers. She says, what's this? I've already gotten my pension this month. Why would they be writing me? She opened up the letter, and they told her they had evaluated her pension, and she was getting less than what they considered to be adequate for a pension amount. And they were going to increase her pension. Now, people, this is the part that's spiritual. What she had committed to financially helping others with, that's the amount that was going to be increased in her pension. So you see, there is ample to share with others, because that doesn't mean that you will not receive back. It just means you're in the flow. And it is not that you're giving to lose. You're giving for it to move and expand in of your life and out of your life, and become even more sometimes in coming back than you expected, because you have given. Energy expands. So not to be afraid that there will not be more coming. To know that your spirit is so blessed that there is always enough, always ample, always abundance. You are not going to be without a meal if you've helped a fellow person out that needed that help. You will not be without the roof over your head or the gas you need for the car. You will be in the flow of enough. You will have enough for everything you need and more so. So throw back the barriers, throw back the limitations, and all the lack that you were raised with, because it no longer applies. You have moved into the spiritual realm, the realm of spirit, which is abundance forever in eternity, because God is eternal, and that God is within you. You have become an individual consciousness. The collective consciousness works through you individually to share the love of God with all of those around you. And that is heaven on earth. Knowing that there is only good all good, and anything else just doesn't exist. You have moved yourselves into the place that you dreamed of, is what's described in the song you heard earlier. And you do not have, the beautiful message of this is that for the first time in history, you do not have to pass over to move into heaven. You are doing it in your physical bodies. For the first time on earth, you are moving into heaven on earth without dying. Your physical bodies will still actually get healthier because you cannot, the love of God does not sustain illness. So you will become healthier and parts of your lives will become better, and you will see things that you didn't see before and understand things you didn't understand before, and will be involved with all kinds of artistic and creative expression, and you will have a limitless life to enjoy. Life is to enjoy. So look forward to it just gradually. There's no big quick fix, no magic wand, but gradually your life will emerge into the life you've always dreamed of and been told about. The 1,000 years of peace will finally be stabilized in about 15 more years. There will be a gradual change. Now, the media has not really broken up the news of this yet, but the energy shift is happening, and gradually you're going to start seeing things that are not proper, correct, or have justice are going to be changed. The banking laws will be changed. All kinds of things are going to alter into this heaven on earth, and you are here to spread the news and to share the good news with those around you that we are moving into this new place. And welcome. You have found the God within. Your hearts are open to the energy flowing through to manifest into your life. What a huge accomplishment you've come to earth to do and participate in. And I want to thank you that you volunteered to come and play your roles. No matter what the role was, your energy affects those around you. And you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't have to be big and grandiose. Your name doesn't have to be on a very, very popular book. But you are here doing your job, and you're doing it well. Congratulations. God loves every one of you. You are his beloved children, and he is well pleased with every person in this room today. And just know how loved you are, and feel the love of God as he embraces each one of you right now. I bid you adieu. Well, I just want everyone to know that I am Archangel Ariel.
Hi.
Hi, Archangel.
And I'm so pleased to send out blessings to everybody. That's my job. I send blessings, and I'm always sending blessings. Marilyn always signs her emails, blessings. That's because we're truly blessed, and I want you to feel blessed today. So we are going to look at something that is not normally addressed, because people put this off to the very last of their list of what to change. No one really likes to talk about shame. So that's why it's probably the last thing on your list to look at, to change and come into that oneness of God, where there is no shame. Maybe when you were a child, you were told you were stupid, or you weren't very smart, or that because of some illness that this was going to make you, you'll never make a living, or you're never going to show your potential, and maybe your parents had some name for you that was not very kind, and it actually made you feel less valuable. That's not uncommon. Some nicknames are not very kind. Maybe you felt less than. Maybe you felt that you had to compete with your brothers and sisters or some other person that you liked and felt they had something going and you would like to be like them. Competition is part of shame. Or having to have the nicest car or the fanciest house on the block to show how important you are because you have a job that can afford that. And maybe you have known people that their house is beautiful and their yard is immaculate, but inside they're very unhappy people because they're trying to put on a false front to impress everybody. And sometimes those people are the most unhappy. And the shame that comes from being compared or put down or thought less of, or you think you're not good enough, or your parents loved one of the children in the family more than you. Whatever that shame came from. We're here to tell you we're going to help you get rid of it today. On the other side of shame is the word pride. It's like a coin. Shame is less than and pride is more than. So as we flip the coin over, maybe there's times when you felt very arrogant. I am better than that person. I didn't steal that piece of gum. I'm better than they are. I didn't take that loaf of bread. Remember the story Les Miserables? He stole a loaf of bread because the children, the relatives needed food. You know, maybe you didn't need to do that. Maybe you were more fortunate. Maybe your pride has brought you to the place where you have become an important boss in your company, or whatever things that make you feel better than. You have more money than somebody else has, or a fancier car. And so look at me. I can drive down the street in this lovely, lovely whatever car that everybody will know I could afford this. You see, pride and shame are two sides, and you're trying to compensate both ways to come into the middle, which is the humility of just knowing that you are loved. They are just ways of saying, I'm not being loved, so look at me. And you don't need to say you're not being loved. You just heard the message that how loved you are. You have come out of third dimension. The earth has come out of third dimension. You are loved. You are here. You are experiencing it. You picked this time to be born and grow into this wonderful experience of heaven on earth. You are loved. You've always been loved. So we are going to release any feelings that are otherwise contradictory to the truth of your humility, that you are one with God and you are loved. So I want you to visualize yourself in a beautiful spa, very, very pretty. You can walk through the door and it's just immaculate and it's beautifully decorated. And it has all the nice accommodations to make you feel relaxed. The music's playing. The scents in the air are relaxing. And you see this has a lot to do with relaxing your body. So that light, sunlight that St. Germaine told you about, your atoms can expand and let more light out. And you do not have to be tight and shut down any longer. And you can just relax in this relaxing spa. And you're going to find a stall with a shower, because you have been covered with this black, ooey gooey, tarry-like substance your whole life. This shame that you've carried, and it's been not comfortable, and it didn't feel right, and it made you feel uncomfortable and out of place and out of sorts. But you just pretended it wasn't there. You didn't want people to know that you felt so yucky and you were doing things to look better, or you felt that you were less than someone else to make up for it. Do you remember the story of Uncle Remus and Tar Baby? Think of the tar when the rabbit pushed his hand into Tar Baby and it got caught up in the sticky tar, and that's what we're going to take off today. So you're going into this shower, and I'm going to give you some special soap. And this soap is going to dissolve all that black, icky tar, that sticky, yucky stuff. The shame or the pride that you need to release is no longer even necessary. It's unsustainable because you are pure love. You are created in the love of God. So you're going into the shower and you're scrubbing on with the soap and lathering it all away, and you're singing to yourself as the suds go down the drain. You're just like the song South Pacific. Instead of washing that man out of your hair and letting it go down the drain, you're washing all that shame out of your life and letting it go down the drain. And it's going to disappear forever because it isn't even true. So as you're lathering up and you're getting to see that that black icky goo shame is no longer on, oh, how clean it feels. It feels really squeaky clean to have your body all cleaned up, and your hair and your scalp and your face and your arms and legs and your all parts of you are just bright, sparkling clean, and there's no more black gooey, but we want to make sure that you're clean as possible. So as you turn on the shower part, there's a special loving solvent that's coming out of the shower head onto you as it finishes rinsing off the tar and the soap, the solvent soap. And it's leaving you with a fresh feeling of a beautiful life, clean, pristine, sparkling, brilliant, no darkness, no shame, no arrogance, no pride. You're just as good as everybody else, and you're just part of the crowd, and you're having a great time being one with everybody, and your spirit matches and collects with others because you are just like them, and they're just like you, loving children of God. And the collective consciousness is raising as we do this into that higher consciousness of love, unconditional love, which is eternal, immortal, and lasts forever. And you feel so good. And you know all there is God, and all there is good. And you are at peace. You have overcome the world, just as Jesus said he overcame the world. You are in spirit, no longer affected by the negative fears, karma, or past. You are at spiritual peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. And I want you to put on that fancy robe they give you in spas. Oh, they're cozy and comfy, and sit in a relaxing, reclining chair right now and just soak in that peace of God right now. You can practice that anytime you choose. You can bring this peace into your life anytime that you need to. Just take a moment out of your busy day, turmoil or crisis that comes up, and just sit and relax in the peace of God and know that you are loved. My blessings to you as you move into your new, higher consciousness. God is with you always, and the peace is always in your heart. And you have a wonderful afternoon and a beautiful rest of your life. And thank you for being with us today. Enjoy your life that is coming. The best is yet to come. And know it's on its way, and see it every day as it comes into a bigger and better rewards for your perseverance in this spiritual journey. I bid you afternoon, a good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ray.
Well, I just want everybody to know that we've had a lot of fun in being here with you today, and hope that somebody found that they could have a better life if they chose to, and it's already in front of you. Just grab onto it and say, heck with the old stuff, I'm going for it. I'm going to have a great new experience in this better place, and I don't even have to worry about the past, because it's going to just fade away as the light gets brighter and brighter, and I'm all for that. So welcome to your new place, on your new experience on your spiritual journey, and we'll be with you. We'll see you next month, hopefully, and have a safe trip home. Especially, Doug, you have to go so far, so have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming, all of you, and see you next time. Toodaloo!
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.